Hey there, tech enthusiasts. Welcome back to Best Consumer, your go-to source for everything cutting edge in the world of technology. Whether you're a gadget guru, a tech-savvy pro, or just someone who loves staying ahead of the curve, you're in for a treat today. In this video, we're taking an in-depth look at the 5 best Dell laptops that are making waves in 2025. From groundbreaking features to unbeatable performance, these devices are the ones to watch this year. I'll be breaking down what makes each one a must-have, whether you're upgrading your tech arsenal or just curious about what's out there. So, if you're ready to explore the top picks and see which 5 best Dell laptops in 2025 is right for you, stick around because you won't want to miss this. Let's dive into the best of the best in 2025 and find out which ones are worth your attention. Number 5. Dell Inspiron 14 Plus. The Dell Inspiron 14 Plus is a smoother office machine. Aside from the plastic underside, the Dell Inspiron 14 Plus is built with a largely aluminum chassis that feels like a polished stone, offering just the slightest bit of friction and featuring smooth corners and edges. While there are elements of the design that look a little more slapped together than the polished designs of Apple's MacBooks or Dell's own XPS line, like its thicker, plastic bezels or basic and wiggly display hinges, the Dell Inspiron 14 Plus still exhibits a sleekness that Inspirons in the past have lacked. This improvement to design is likely where the plus in the name is coming from, though the internals certainly have a role to play as well. For a compact work machine, the Dell Inspiron 14 Plus makes a show of having lots of cooling. While I'm used to seeing a decent side vent on machines like this, I was surprised to find even more vents on the rear. There even appear to be vents tucked away behind the display hinges. Confoundingly, further inspection reveals much of these vents are just hunky-punk plastic grills made to look like vents. So, while at first glance the Dell Inspiron 14 Plus looks like it might offer better cooling than the Dell XPS 16 did, which runs the same CPU, the opposite appears to be true. The frame has a little sponginess to it around the keyboard and at the center of the display lid, but it feels rigid enough to handle a little abuse. That keyboard deck flex is also hardly noticeable while typing. Number 4. Dell Latitude 9442 in 1. The Dell Latitude 9440 is a beautifully designed laptop, incorporating thoughtful features and a great keyboard that elevates it among the best designed laptops I've tried. In fact, my only major gripe with its design is its port array. While USB-C is, of course, the future, we're just not at a point where 3 Thunderbolt ports and no USB-A isn't going to cut it for many users, though I suppose that's not stopped Apple. Speaking of the devil, there is something, dare I say, Apple-like about the 9440. It's by no means a Windows clone of the MacBook aesthetic, but its chic, simplistic look and feel certainly feels more Mac-like than many of the best Windows laptops. From its aluminum matte dark gray casing lined with a slightly lighter gray trimming to its battery-saving backlit keys, its bright and beautiful screen to its 360-degree hinge, Dell wants you to know that the Latitude 9440 is a premium laptop through and through. It offers a roomy touchpad and edge-to-edge keyboard, both of which are comfortable and satisfying to use. The mini LED backlit keyboard, in particular, is smooth as honey, offering a wonderfully natural typing experience with just enough clickiness and feedback. And I love that it doesn't waste space with lattices. The haptic touchpad is wonderful to use, too, and features 4 collaboration buttons that illuminate when you're using Teams or Zoom, provided you've installed the required Dell Optimizer software. I'm not particularly amazed by these. Sure, it's cool, but it's too easy to brush over these while moving things around on screen and risk potentially revealing that you're at home working in your PJs at 11 a.m. on a Thursday. Number 3. Dell Precision 5690. The Dell Precision 5690. Armed with an Intel Core Ultra 9 185H processor, NVIDIA RTX 5000 Ada generation laptop GPU, and a UHD OLED display, this laptop targets engineers, data scientists, medical professionals, and a myriad of high-level content creators. And yes, you can even game on this thing, making it one of the best 16-inch laptops on the market. You can expect stellar performance from its Intel Core Ultra 9 processor and NVIDIA RTX 5000 Ada generation laptop GPU. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Thanks to Dell's cornucopia of choices, you can configure the notebook into a veritable Fort Knox with the available security options. And if that isn't enough, you can max out the storage to a whopping 8 terabytes. It'll cost a pretty penny, however, which is the biggest drawback to the virtual powerhouse. The other flaw? This thing needs more ports. However, if you're looking to do high-level work without worrying about slowdowns, lack of storage, or the other problems that lesser laptops have, the Dell Precision 5690 is one of the best workstations you can get today. Well, this isn't the most expensive laptop I've ever reviewed, but for context, I've also reviewed a $9,000 notebook. Still, my review unit costs quite a bit at $6,500. That eye-watering price gets you a 2.5 GHz Intel Core Ultra 9 185H processor with vPro, 32 GB of DDR5-7467 MHz RAM, a pair of 512 MB M.2 2280 Class 40 SSDs in RAID 0 configuration, an Intel Arc Graphics GPU, an NVIDIA RTX 5000 Ada generation laptop GPU with 16 GB GDDR6 of VRAM, and a 16-inch 3840 by 2460 Hz OLED touch panel. Number 2. Dell Alienware M18 R2. The Alienware M18 R2 is a top-tier gaming laptop available on Amazon for $2,728 for the 32 GB Intel Core i9 configuration. It has a commanding presence, is highly customizable, and is powerful enough to handle just about any game you want to play. This is a large, expensive laptop that requires plenty of juice, and when the fans are cranking, it can get quite loud. Weighing nearly 9 pounds and measuring 16 inches, Dell's Alienware M18 R2 is a beast. It's big, it's thick, and it probably won't fit in your laptop bag. It just feels powerful, and when you open it up, it looks like a high-end machine. Given its nearly $3,000 price tag, it definitely should. Today's Alienware laptops are a little more grown-up than back in the day. They've left the lime green aesthetic from the 2010s where it belongs, and instead give consumers the option for more subdued exteriors and typical laptop colors. This is a laptop you could definitely take into the office, though it still might attract some looks, and, with the press of one button, can turn off all the RGB lighting, like putting on a suit and tie. That being said, this is absolutely a gaming laptop. As the refresh of last year's M18 R1 model, the R2 is a powerful, top-of-the-line gamer's paradise stacked with a 14th generation HX Intel 24-core 5.8 GHz max boost processor, high-end graphics capabilities, a sophisticated cooling system, and more ports than you'll know what to do with. Number 1. Dell XPS 16 2024. The Dell XPS 16, $1,899 to start, is the first 16-inch XPS laptop to hit the market, and with its thin chassis and luminescent capacitive keys, it resembles nothing so much as a bigger, bolder XPS 13 Plus. But underneath the hood, this XPS can get a lot more beastly, as you can upgrade it with up to an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4070 laptop graphics card, 64 GB of RAM, and up to an Intel Core 9 Ultra CPU, one of the fastest Intel Meteor Lake chips currently available. Such upgrades cost a fair bit, but they turn this otherwise average but beautiful ultra-portable into something approaching a 16-inch performance machine. Add in the optional 4K OLED touchscreen upgrade, and the XPS 16 really starts to feel like a premium laptop that can compete toe-to-toe with the best laptops on the market.